Just trace that.
I pressed go live. Oh, it is a nice week. It looks so nice and sunny now. So
It's lucky, isn't it?
it's nicer than it was earlier.
Oh yeah, you're all live. All right, okay. Perfect.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, darling. It's
Hello.
lovely, actually.
Hello. The camera's always slightly low, I think.
See, well, yeah, because you're so much taller.
Yeah.
No, you should be in. You're in, like,
If I squat a bit. Who's watching this? Hello.
your bags and that camera here again. You're so excited.
Back for image so. Okay, hello everyone. Hello. It's lovely and warm and sunny now. Hope we're all good. We're going to this week do some stuff similar to last week with the chair for salutations, but we're going to do a little bit more movement, and we're not going to tire you out quite as much because I think last week we worked quite hard. So I can see who's here. Well, a few people are watching, so we'll start anyway. So sitting cross-legged on a height. And notice which leg it is that's in, which leg is closer to you, and then change the legs. You should really, if you can, do alternate. So each practice or each week, alternate which leg is closer to you. Or if you're sitting for a long time, you can do both. But if you don't do this regularly, you'll notice it's maybe a little awkward, so you might have to change after a little while if you start getting pain in the knees or anything. But hands on the knees, lift your chest up nice and high, and let the knees descend to the floor, let the ground soften. And allow yourself, oh, I'm not wearing my microphone. Can you hear me? Does this still work even if it's there? That'd be quite good. All right, hopefully you can hear me better now. So one thing we don't often do is to draw the buttock flesh out and back. Should really say it more often because it's a good way to move the buttock flesh away from the sit bones. So you're sitting right on the sit bones. And then aware, is the pressure the same left and right? Lengthen through the crown of your head and bring the palms of the hands in front of your chest together and close your eyes. Move the elbows down towards the floor. Feel the shoulders coming down away from the ears and keep lengthening towards the crown of the head. So you've got a nice long neck, both left and right sides of the neck. So lifting all the way from the sit bones, through the waist, through the chest, and lengthening all the way into the crown of the head, but keeping the elbows down and letting the knees relax to the floor. Let the tongue relax away from the teeth, the jaw relax. So we've got this energetic lift, but also just no tension you don't need to hold. And aware of the breath. So as soon as we're aware of the breath, we'll notice the areas in the ribs and the chest that are filling up. And we'll also probably relax a little in the exhalation. It's very relaxing. So just a couple of breaths, aware of space filling up and aware of relaxing in the exhalation. Then we'll do a chant, so breathing in. Bow your head towards the floor. Make sure the groins stay relaxed. Place your hands on your knees. Lift your head and finally open the eyes. Okay, I think we'll start with just a wee quick downward dog before we do anything else. So hands on the mat, middle finger facing forwards. Press the hands down and just go into downward dog, however you do, just to stretch out the legs a little bit and just to stretch out the spine. So just one to warm up. Make sure you're pressing the hands down firmly and pressing away as well. And you should feel the wrist become a little lighter when you press away. So as you press down, press away, feel the wrist get a little bit lighter. And move your hips further back so you're lengthening both sides of the waist. And bring the heels a little closer to the floor. So stretching out the calves. And then knees to the floor. Big toes together. Big toes together, knees apart, and just a really brief little Adho Mukha Virasana. Just to warm the hips up a little bit. But same thing with the arms. So pressing down, press away to move the hips further back. And see if you can make the wrist a little bit lighter than the roots of the fingers. So more weight in the roots of the fingers than in the wrist. And let the head come to the floor. Okay, back up and come to stand. Oh, am I going to fit in the frame today? Not my arms. Okay, so stand into Tadasana first. So big toes together, pressing the feet down, stretch the arms down. And we're going to do Urdhva Padanguli, which is clasping the fingers. So clasp the fingers and stretch the fingers away from you. Try and get a nice curve to the fingers if you can see. So not just a flat thing, but try and really stretch the fingers out like that. And then gradually lift the arms up. Still stretching into the fingers. Press the thumbs together. That's the tips of the thumbs. And move the forearms back the way. And then come up onto the balls of the feet. Pressing the feet down, reaching up through the palms of the hands, the roots of the fingers, and stretching out the whole body. Then come back down onto the heels, and just change the interlock. So when I'm saying roots of the thumbs together, pressing like that, and getting a nice curve to the hands if possible. Stretch out the fingers. So forwards first. And as we go forwards, we want to make sure the shoulders stay back. So move the shoulders back the way into their sockets. And then stretch up. So obviously make sure that we're not doing any of this kind of nonsense where the ribs are coming forwards. So move the buttock flesh down, lift the front of the pelvis. Make sure that those front ribs stay in. And stretch through the fingers. Come up onto the balls of your feet. So still pulling the kneecaps up, still moving the buttock flesh down, lifting the front of the pelvis. Just make it as long as we can do. And then heels back down, stretch the arms back down into Tadasana, and lift your chest. So you're gonna need a chair. Making sure I'm in frame. You're gonna need a chair at one side of your mat. And we're just gonna straight away, hopefully you've all got a chair already. Stretch up into Urdhva, which is hands apart. You can't see my arms. Hands apart, palms facing. Hit the forearms back the way, but keep the front ribs in. And then come forwards, hands onto the seat of the chair. Step back into a sort of pseudo downward dog type thing. Obviously, you want to try and have your chair into the back of something if you can do, so that it doesn't move about.
but if not, then you can't. So press the hands down and move the chest towards the floor. What we're going to do is go from here into Virabhadrasana 1. So bring the feet together, big toes together, and step the left foot forwards and bend the leg down. So you should know the pose, I reckon, but if you don't, it's front leg at 90 degrees, back leg. The foot is turned out slightly. So if it's your right leg at the back, your big toe is turned out to the right just slightly. And sit down. And then press the hands down, go back to downward dog. Big toes together, step forwards with the right leg this time. And sit down to 90 degrees with the front leg. Make sure the back leg stays straight, so it's much easier if you bend the back leg. So pull the kneecap up and move the thigh away from the floor of the back leg and sit down. Try and get the front leg to 90 degrees. We're just going to do a bunch of repetitions of these nice and quick. So back into downward dog. Big toes together. Step forward with the left leg. Make sure the back leg stays straight. And step back. And forward with the right leg. Sit down. And be hitting back the way with the heel on the back leg. Okay, back to downward dog. Forwards with the left leg. Sit down. Stretch back through the outer right heel to get a stretch on the calf. You should be trying to make it touch the floor. Mine isn't touching the floor, but you should be trying to get that stretch. Step back, downward dog, step forward with the right leg, sit down, and try and press that outer left heel towards the floor. And sit down. Okay, one more time, downward dog, feet together, step forward left leg, and just notice what the pose does, what it stretches out. So it's the calf of the back leg and also the front groin, the hip flexor. Step back, downward dog, step forwards with the right leg, and sit down. Okay, step back, downward dog, feet apart, and then step forwards, stretch the arms up, Urdhvastasana, palms together, and then Tadasana, as if we're doing salutations. Okay, if you watch for just a second, we're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to work on hitting the knee towards the chest as we do it, as we bring the leg forwards. So it's like this, you come forwards, and then I hit the knee up towards my chest, so you can see sort of generic sort of core work is what it would be called. So I hit the knee up towards the chest, as close as I can get it, like that. So rather than just stepping forwards, we're really pulling it up high, and you'll see you've probably maybe been doing stuff like that similar, but it's quite good core work, quite warming. So stretch the arms up, palms onto the chair, downward dog, step back, feet together, and we'll go left leg first. So bring the foot forwards, hit the knee up towards the chest, and then plant the foot down. And you probably want to go wider with your feet than where you were in downward dog. And then step back, downward dog again, feet together, right leg forward, hit the knee up towards the chest, and plant the foot, step back. So again, downward dog, and this time we'll do it with a more fluid movement. So as you sweep forward, try and make it like a circle. So hit the knee up and step forwards, one fluid movement, and then again on the way back, knee close to the chest, and step back. Right leg, forwards and back. Left leg one more time, hitting up towards the chest. Sit down. And try and make it a nice little circle as you go forwards. Okay, downward dog. Step forwards, feet together. Stretch the arms up, palms together. So we're going to work on an action, remind ourselves of the action of lifting the front of the pelvis and moving the buttock flesh down. The best pose to do that in is Utkatasana. So stretch the arms straight up into Urdhva and then bend the legs down, letting the knees come forwards a little bit, and making sure that the buttock flesh moves still down. So making sure you're not sticking your bum out, but you're moving the bum down and lifting the front of the pelvis up to get that action. And then Urdhvastasana again. Palms onto the chair. and step back to downward dog. Okay, feet together. We're going to come forwards again, knee close to the chest, left leg forwards, and step back with the right leg. I'm going to stay a little bit longer this time. So press the outer right foot, right heel into the floor, pull the kneecap up, move the thigh away from the floor for a straight leg. Now try and do the action of lifting the front of the pelvis up and notice what happens. So as we lift the front of the pelvis up, we get a better stretch in the front groin, the pelvis, the front of the pelvis. So lift the front of the pelvis up, move the buttock flesh down, and keep pressing the outer foot down towards the floor. Okay, you might want to shimmy your right leg in a little bit as you step back to downward dog. Feet together, and right leg, knee close to the chest, step forwards, step your feet a little further apart, and sit down to 90 degrees. So pressing the outer heel towards the floor to stretch the calf, lift the front of the pelvis up, move the buttock flesh down, and feel the stretch in the front of the hips. So sit down nice and low. What we're looking for with alignment is vertical shin, horizontal thigh. So no knees coming over further than the ankle, and lift the front of the pelvis up, move the buttock flesh down to feel the stretch in the front of the top of the thigh. But keep hitting the thigh away from the floor to make sure the leg is straight. Okay, step back, downward dog. One more thing just for fun. So feet together, step the left leg forwards, sit down into Virabhadrasana 1. And then step the right leg forwards, bring both toes together with bent legs. You can see what I'm doing, which is obviously going to be Utkatasana. So move the buttock flesh down, lift the front of the pelvis, and take the hands off the seat, stretch them forwards first, move the buttock flesh down, and then hit the arms up. So they're level with the ears. Look up between the hands, hit the forearms back the way, and keep moving the buttock flesh down, lifting the front of the pelvis. Okay, hands to the chair, step back, downward dog. And we'll do the other side. So right leg forwards, try and remember each thing we've done. So knee close to the chest first, plant the foot, step the left foot further back, move the outer heel towards the floor, keep the thigh away from the floor, left thigh, hit it away from the floor for a straight leg, lift the front of the pelvis up to get the stretch on the left hip flexor, and then step forwards, so both legs are bent. Move the buttock flesh down, lift the front of the pelvis, stretch the arms forwards first of all. Make sure you're still lifting the pelvis strongly as you move the forearms away from the floor and try and grip your ears with the upper arms, but keep looking up between the hands. Move the pelvis down, the bum down and the front of the pelvis up. Sit down, hands towards the chair and step back into downward dog. And just stay for a moment, stretching out the calves and lengthening out the spine. So make sure you're pulling the kneecaps up strongly so that the thighs are working well. And lengthen the back of the heel down towards the floor. And then step forwards, stretch the arms up, Virabhadrasana, and then palms together in front of the chest. And just breathe for a minute and you can watch. We'll do the full pose. So if you watch first, we're going to go via all this. We'll get into it like this. And the full pose is the arms stretched straight up. So what we need to do is make sure that there's weight in the front foot. So I press the front foot down and then I just stretch my arms back the way. And it's the same thing as Utkatasana where you have to hit the forearms back the way. So a tendency would be for like this kind of thing. So we need to hit the forearms back the way and try and grip the ears with the upper arms. But notice my back leg, I need to hit the thigh away from the floor more and probably sit down a little more with the front leg. Okay. So if you're ready, stand into Tadasana, stretch the arms up, Virabhadrasana, hands towards the seat of the chair, step back into downward dog, big toes together, step forwards, plant the front foot, step further back with the back foot and turn the foot out slightly and press the outer back foot down. Pull the kneecap up and hit the thigh away from the floor, straight leg. Sit down with the front leg, have a look, see if you can get vertical shin, horizontal thigh, and then put weight into that leg, press it down, and then come up with the arms. So stretch the arms up, and you probably have to sit a little further down with the front leg now. Hit the forearms back the way, try and grip the ears with the upper arms, and try and turn your torso and chest to face directly over the front leg knee, the left knee. Because the tendency is going to be to turn away. So turn directly forwards, sit down, and keep pressing the outer back foot down. Okay, hands towards the chair, step back, downward dog. Take just a moment. And then big toes together, right foot forwards. Left foot back, turn it out slightly. Sit down with the front foot. Shin vertical, thigh horizontal. Lift the front of the pelvis up. And then weight in the front foot as you stretch the arms up. Reach through the fingertips. So you're reaching up with the arms, but then sitting down with the right buttock bone. Lift the front of the pelvis up and move the buttock flesh down and feel the stretch in the left hip flexor, the left front groin. Look directly forwards and turn your chest to be facing directly forwards. And sit down. Then hands to the chair, step back, downward dog, and step forwards. Swing the arms up, Urdhva, palms together, and let your breath settle down. So it's a very strenuous pose that gets the heart rate up really well. So if you want to do exercise as yoga as exercise, then very good pose to get you sweaty and heart rate up, along with things like Utkatasana. But I think we'll move on now. So stretch the arms up, Urdhva, hands to the chair, step back with the feet, downward dog. And we're going to go via the same thing. So big toes together. Let's try and remember to keep the knee close to the chest as we bring the foot forwards. And then what we're going to do, sit down with the front leg. So the shin is vertical, thighs horizontal. But this time we're going to go into Parsvakonasana. So turn the right foot all the way out. So it's facing the wall on your right. So we're turning the whole body. Place the palm on the chair and hand on the hip. Lefts and rights are going to be kind of awkward now because you're sort of, if you're facing me, I'm going to be doing the same as you rather than mirroring. But anyway, stretch the arm directly up and turn the arm to take the arm overhead as if you're doing Urdhva. So sit down with the front leg, the bent leg, press the outer back foot down and turn the back leg hip away from the floor, the chest away from the floor. And then palms onto the chair. Mostly we're going to just do a couple of reps so you get used to the difference in going into it that way. So downward dog, big toes together, knee close to the chest as you come forward with the right leg. Sit down to 90 degrees with the front leg. And then turn the back leg all the way out and go into Parsvakonasana. Let's take the, I'm just going to call it the back leg arm because I don't know. Well, I guess it's going to be your left anyway. So back leg arm or left hand on the hip, turn the hip away from the floor, move the shoulder back the way, move the elbow back the way. So you're probably now looking up towards the ceiling and then stretch the arm directly up, turn the palm to the wall on the right and stretch the arm over the head, overhead. Press the right arm into the chair and turn even more away from the floor. And then palms onto the chair. Step back, downward dog. Step forwards. Swing the arms up, Urdhva, and palms together. Settle down for a second. Okay, stretch the arms up. Palms onto the chair. Step back, downward dog. Big toes together. Left leg up, knee close to the chest as you bring the foot forwards. Sit down to 90 degrees. And we're just going to repeat that one quickly. So turn the back leg foot to 90 degrees. Stretch the arm up. Turn the palm and stretch overhead. Press the left hand into the chair, if it is your left hand. And press the outer back foot down. Make sure you're sitting down nice and low. You might want to step further back with the back leg. And press the hand into the chair to turn the torso away from the floor. Okay, hands to the chair. Step back, downward dog. Feet together. Right leg forward, knee close to the chest. Plant the foot. Sit down to 90 degrees and then turn the back leg and probably step further back as well so that you can sit down low enough. Remember, vertical shin, so knee no further than ankle. Press the hand into the chair. Stretch the arm up, stretch it overhead, and turn the chest away from the floor. And then hands to chair, step back, downward dog. Step forwards and stretch the arms up into Urdhva and bring the palms together. Okay, we'll carry on. So stretching arms up again, hands to the chair. You can do these if you know that you're well practiced. You can do these without the chair, but it's quite useful to have it there. So step back, downward dog. Feet together, knee up close to the chest as you come forwards. And this time we're going to stretch the front leg straight. So press the inner left foot down on the front leg. Pull the kneecap up for a straight leg. And then it's this thing of turning the back leg all the way out. And we're going to go into Trikonasana. So turn the back leg out. You probably want to go a little bit wider. And just notice how it feels doing it from this different position. So hand into the chair is a good idea. You can stretch the top arm up. And the hand into the chair is good because you can press into the chair and turn the chest away from the floor. So I can tell by looking at my screen that my pose is a little funny because I'm not used to doing it this way, but it did things in a different way. So you can notice the effects differently. So you'll notice the hips as you turn in this. So hands back to the chair, step back, downward dog. Then forward with the right leg, knee to chest as you come forwards. Stretch the front leg straight, press the inner right foot down on what is called the big toe mound. So it's that area just there, called the big toe mound. It's like that area of the hand. My friend calls it the big toe mountain. Right. Stretch the front leg straight, pull the kneecap up, and then turn the left leg all the way out. Press the right hand into the chair. And probably step a little bit wider, shimmy a bit wider. And then stretch the left arm up towards the ceiling. Press the outer left foot down, inner right foot down, press the big toe mound down, pull both kneecaps up, press the right hand into the chair and turn the chest away from the floor. And in all these poses, you can lift the front of the pelvis and feel the effects of that. It will improve all these standing postures. If you lift the front of the pelvis, lift the chest, lengthen through the crown of the head. Okay, hands to the chair. Step back, downward dog. Step forwards. And just to refresh yourself, stretch the arms up. Palms together. Stretch the arms up. Palms on the chair. Step back, downward dog. Big toes together. Step the left foot forwards. This time we're going to keep both feet facing directly forwards. So turn the back foot only a smidgen. So if the front foot is at 12 o'clock, the back foot's at 1 o'clock. Press the outer heel on the right leg down. Feel the stretch in the calf. And lift the front of the pelvis up. Move the buttock flesh down. And it's a good place to be to get a calf stretch and to sort the legs out. So if the more time that you spend in these sort of transition postures, it sets you up well for the other postures. So what we're going to do is, if you can do, you're going to take your hands to the floor if possible and look up, fingertips to the floor. If not, you keep your hands on the chair And you can stretch forwards with your hands on the chair like this, if you can see. You're reaching as far forwards as you can do. Keep pulling the front of the pelvis up the way. Keep pressing the outer heel down. Then palms on the chair, step back, downward dog. Big toes together, step forwards, keep the knee close to the chest, step forwards. And turn the back foot out just slightly. This time 11 o'clock. Press the big toe mound down on the front foot, pull the kneecap up. And if you can do, fingertips to floor, look up. Otherwise, stretch your hands far forwards. You can scoot the chair forwards as well. Both legs should be straight. And lengthen forwards, look up between your hands or look directly forwards if your fingertips are on the floor. And then hands to the chair. Downward dog. Step forwards. Stretch the arms up. And palms together. Lift your chest. Elbows down. Pelvis up. Buttocks down. Always good to remind yourself of all these actions. Okay, we shall now go for, I think we'll just go straight into Prasarita Padottanasana. So I might as well show you first because I don't think we've really done it. I'm sure some of you will know, but it's best angle to show you from. I'll show you front on first so you can see the legs. So we go from legs really wide, so legs wider than any other standing pose. We lift the front of the pelvis, buttock flesh down, obviously. And what we're going to do is use the chair to do the same thing as reaching far, far forwards with the chair. So ideally, my torso should be parallel with the floor. And it's similar to other things where you're lifting the pelvis, you're lifting the abdomen up towards the spine and you're moving the chest down towards the floor. And then what we'll do, if we can do, is take the fingertips to the floor and we'll hand down like this. If you can do it, you can take your head to the floor. Clearly I'm not up to it today. And the longer that you stay like this, the better. It's a good inversion. It's actually kind of a preparation for head balance. We're not doing no head balance today. So you might want to move your move your chair to the front of the mat like I've done. Stand in Tadasana. Stretch the arms down, lifting the chest. Lift the pelvis up, buttock flesh down. And then just step nice and wide. So lifting the kneecaps up, lifting the pelvis up, gripping the outer feet in the way to squeeze the mat together to give you this grip in the hips and to give you a lift in the inner leg. Place the hands on the hips, move the elbows down and lift the chest up. Look up slightly, like 45 degrees up, so not towards the ceiling, but 45 degrees. And come forwards, hitting the elbows up towards the ceiling. So you want to be coming forwards with a concave back. And then take your hands to the chair in front of you. And push the chair away if you can do. Otherwise, you can do it fingers on the floor and you can still walk your hands really far forwards with fingers on the floor if you don't have room for this or anything. So press hands away, look in between your hands or even higher up. Lift the abdomen up towards the spine and move the chest down towards the floor. So that's a similar action to downward dog, where we're moving the chest down, the abdomen stays up. Keep gripping the outer feet towards each other, and then hands to the floor. Begin to walk the hands back the way. And if you can do, bring the hands in line with the feet, so in between the feet. I'm not showing very well because my legs are a bit gubbed after walking today. But if you can do, keep your legs straight and then let the head hang down. Lift the buttock flesh up towards the ceiling and let the back of the head descend towards the floor. And walk the hands even further back if you can do. Keep gripping with the outer feet towards each other. Keep lifting the buttock flesh up towards the ceiling. And relax the abdomen now. Relax the lower abdomen. Relax the spine. And the longer you can stay, the better. Like I said, my legs are a bit gubbed today, so I'm not staying very long. But the longer you can stay in an inverted posture, the better. If this pose is no good for you at all and you're absolutely hating it, then you can do downward dog if you prefer. But we're not going to stay too long because just stay a minute and then we'll have to come out. Okay, we're probably all ready to come out now. So walk your hands forwards again, look up, and then heel toe your feet back together and stand up into Tadasana. Lifting the chest, stretching the arms down. Stay for just a moment. Just aware of your breath as you let blood pressure normalize. Okay, I think what we should do is a wee Adho Mukha Virasana before we start to wind down properly. So sit on your heels, leg toes together, bring the knees apart. Then walk the hands forwards, bring the head to the floor, and this time you can just let your forearms relax on the floor. Let the abdomen relax, the lower abdomen especially. And just aware of the breath filling up the body. And on the exhalation, just releasing and relaxing. The idea with poses like this, sort of forward extensions, is that the spine gets longer and goes further forwards. So imagine with the inhalation that the spine gets longer, and then on the exhalation that everything relaxes. Okay, walk your hands towards your knees. Bring the knees together, sit on your heels. And we shall do Supta Baddha Konasana before relaxing in Shavasana for about 5 minutes. So you probably want something under your head. But first of all, Supta Baddha Konasana. So feet together, heels pressing into each other. You can see that. Try and have your tailbone close to the heels, and then just lower yourself down towards the floor. Put your head on a raise if you like. And just palms facing up the way. Let the knees relax to the floor. If you have knee issues or any discomfort, just lie in Shavasana. But if you can, it's good to release the hips for a minute after doing standings. So tongue away from the teeth is a good sign of whether you're holding tension or not. Then you'll probably be more aware of your jaw. Let your jaw relax. Allow the teeth to be apart. And just let the head be heavy. Take just a few more breaths in this position, filling up the abdomen and the hips with awareness and letting them soften in the exhalation. And then nice and gently, hands to the outer thighs, bring your knees together, and then stretch each leg straight one at a time. Heel on the floor. Let the big toes roll out. Let the legs relax. One thing I've been finding useful is just to say inwardly that you're letting the feet go. So just say that you let the feet go, you let the lower legs go, you let the upper legs go, you let the pelvis go, you let go of the legs completely, as if you just throw them onto the floor. And same with the arms, so just throwing the arms onto the floor, letting go of the hands and the fingers completely, letting go of the forearms, the upper arms, releasing the arms completely. Letting the abdomen soften to the spine. Which might take a few breaths. So in the exhalation, just allowing it to soften. Then aware of the breath in the lungs, in the chest, in the ribs. Allowing the breath to be however it is, not controlling it. So letting go of the breath as well. Then up to the shoulders, releasing them to the floor, releasing them to gravity. Letting the jaw relax, the throat soften. Letting the eyes quietly descend away from the eyelids. And letting any tension from the face flow from the face outwards past the ears towards the place where the back of the head rests on the floor. Then on exhalation, just letting go of the whole body. Allowing it to be however it is when you stop controlling it. Relaxation is not necessarily something that is done, but is what happens when you stop doing other things. So when you stop holding tension, when you stop hanging on to things, then there's more relaxation. So see if you can bring awareness to any area in particular in the body, which is holding on, sort of gripping tension. For me, it tends to be sort of left side of the head, maybe thoracic spine a little bit as well. And just bring awareness to it and just allow it to be how it is. And with that, you'll probably notice it change a little bit and soften a little bit. It doesn't have to be too much, but just every little bit. So with each exhalation, just allowing yourself to just float in gravity. I'm going to bring you up, but like I think I said last week, if you want to stay for longer, it's probably not a bad idea, because another 5 minutes after doing quite strong standings is a good idea. Let yourself completely relax for another few minutes if you're happy doing that. Otherwise, bring the feet to the floor one at a time, bending the legs. Roll over to your right side, head on your right arm. Press the hands down and come up to sit, the opposite way of whatever you sat at the start of the class, as in legs wise. Hands in front of the chest and bow the head down. It's always nice to say thank you, not necessarily to anything, to the universe, if you like, for having time to practice and for any benefits of the practice and any calmness that you can take away. And thank you all very much as well. I'll see you next week. Okay, I will end broadcast, and if you're all still there relaxing, then enjoy very much, and I'll see you next week.